In today's video, we're comparing the new Galaxy A53 5G versus the previous Galaxy A52 5G to figure out which is better and which one should you buy. Because while at first glance these look identical, there's actually a few things that have changed. First thing that's a little bit odd to me is the price of these two, especially if you look at the Samsung website. We're talking $450 for the Galaxy A53 5G, and then for some reason the A52 is $50 more at $499 in the United States at least. So the older model is more expensive. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. Like I said, that's going to be on the official Samsung website. You should be able to find better deals on the older A52 5G on other sites. You're going to get a 6.5-inch screen on both of these with the same 1800 by 2400 resolution. Another odd thing though, you can watch YouTube videos at 2160p on the A52, only 1080p resolution on the A53. At least that's what I'm showing here with the versions I have. Maybe there's going to be an update, who knows, maybe there'll be an update in the near future. Nice thing is you can watch Netflix in full HD playback on both devices as well, and you're going to get up to 120 Hertz on both phones. Both of these seem like they're plenty bright enough for most situations, and they've got good viewing angles. I don't see anything about either of the displays that say, yeah, these are cheaper devices. The overall dimensions of these two phones are pretty much identical, except you get the headphone jack there on the A52, and you'll notice they also move the buttons down a little bit on the A53. So yeah, you can't use the same case on these two. And then you get a 5000 milliamp hour battery in the Galaxy A53, 4500 milliamp hour in the A52. But surprisingly, I got pretty much the same battery life, right at 12.5 hours before dying in my battery drain test, which is really good. It's gonna be right up there with some of the best battery life that I've seen when testing phones on my channel. Keep in mind that's at full screen brightness, streaming video for almost 13 hours straight. So they'll easily be able to get you through 2 days of normal usage, probably even more if you turn the screen brightness down. And then obviously a lot of that's going to depend on what kind of stuff you're doing. There's just a lot of variables to consider when talking about battery life. Both phones are currently on Android 12. The A53 is on One UI 4.1. A52 is on One UI 4.0. So regardless of which one you choose, it's going to be a very similar software experience. So far, I've only noticed very minor differences to the home screen. On the A52, you've got Samsung Free or Google Discover. You've got the option of Samsung O on the A53, but it's still pretty much the same thing. Probably one of the biggest upsides to going with the A53 is when it comes to software updates. We're talking 4 years software support, 5 years security updates. That's really good for Android phones, let alone in the mid-range category. Chances are you're gonna get another year or two of software updates with the A52, but I feel like most people upgrade their phones after a couple years anyways, but still just something to keep in mind. And then when it comes to performance, obviously the A53 is gonna be a little bit faster, as you can see by these Geekbench scores, but it's actually a lot faster when you compare compute scores. In real life situations, you aren't gonna notice a huge difference just moving around the software. Maybe if you do some more intense multitasking or something like that, but for me, real life use is gonna feel very similar. Now, neither of these are gonna be considered gaming phones. You get medium frame rates with balanced graphics, but surprisingly, you get higher frame rates with HD graphics on the older A52 5G. Again, I don't think you're gonna notice a huge difference between the two. And then when playing Asphalt 9, everything seems to load just fine. Neither seem to stutter or slow down. I also didn't have any overheating issues or anything like that. I think overall most people will enjoy playing games on either phone. Unfortunately, they got rid of the headphone jack on the A53. It's not really a deal breaker to me. So if that's important to you, yeah, you might as well just go with the A52. Nice thing is speakers on these two phones are actually pretty decent for the price. Nice and loud for the most part, and probably are loud enough for just about anything you'd be watching or playing. Any music you would listen to is gonna sound good enough on here. Let me give you a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. when it comes to the cameras on these two, there's not really much of a difference. You've got the same quad camera setup on the back with a 64 megapixel main lens, 12 megapixel wide angle, and then a 5 megapixel macro and depth lens on both phones. You also get a 32 megapixel front facing camera on both of these and up to 4K 30 frames per second for video recording with both phones as well. While I do feel like the shutter speed could be a tad faster, you can get some pretty nice photos and video from both of these as long as the lighting situations are good. Here's a few samples of photos and video from each just to give you an idea of what to expect. So that's about all the time I've got for this video. Hopefully it gave you a little closer look at the new Galaxy A53 5G and previous version A52 5G. I'll be doing a couple other comparisons with the A53, so you'll definitely want to look out for those. I've also got a lot more tablet comparisons to do as well. And if you came to my channel for tablet comparisons, yeah, I've got a lot more of those coming as well. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.